What's going on, everybody? Brian Maglio on here for the 2022 Lone Star Conference Basketball Media Days. I'm joined by St. Mary's men's basketball head coach Jim Zeleznak and Ryan Leonard. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us here today. First and foremost, Coach, a new season is upon us. What are your thoughts on the upcoming year and your team as we head into the new season?
Well, we had a nice group of of players coming back. So, that part of it was, we had a pretty solid building block to begin with Ryan, who was an all league player last year. And then, Emmanuel Awuzie, Caleb Jordan has come back for his fifth year. Tyler Karen. So we felt really good. Jaron Presley. So we really felt good about the foundation that we had, coming back, and all those kids played a ton of basketball for us. And so our recruiting class, we filled some needs. We had to rebuild our perimeter a little bit, but I think that the young men that we have brought in have blended in really well. There's an accountability in the locker room, which I love. They've worked really hard, up to this point. We had a couple of observers come in for our first formal practice on Saturday, and we're talking about how hard our players practiced, and I just told them, I said that's kind of been from day one. I mean, that's didn't look like a change to me. That's kind of what I've witnessed since we started doing our smaller workouts at the beginning of school. So I think it's a credit to all of our older players that they have embraced the new recruits and kind of shown them what the standard of work ethic needs to be. And I think on the other side, I think all the new recruits have come in and blended in really well. So it's been fun to see that growth with them. But I think more important to see the consistent work ethic across the board.
And Ryan, to harp on what Coach said about having the returners as well as the new recruits come in, how have you felt the meshing of the two have worked out?
Yeah, I think our coaching staff did a really good job of bringing in guys that really fit in well with us. All the guys now have fit in well. Like we hanging out all the time and just really trying to build a good bond between each other. And yeah, like Coach said, like it was really like the returners and stuff. We set a standard, and the new guys have lived up to that standard. So they've kind of earned our respect and in every sense like that.
And Coach, this sure is not your first dance, if you will. What gets you excited about a new season as we get into October and November?
Well, quite honestly, just kind of observing, how these guys have handled themselves, even through, the conditioning and the weight work and our early season workouts. But to see how they've blended in together, how the new players have embraced the work ethic and just seeing how this entire group has really blended, and to see the unselfishness on the court, and as I alluded to before, just see the accountability in the locker room about what's going to be acceptable from a work standpoint. I mean, there's been multiple times that I've observed some of the older players just stopping and just talking to the players about what needs to be done and how competitive the league is, which the new guys don't get just yet, but how these soft possessions or lazy possessions, just when it comes down, these games are all going to come down to one or two possessions at the end, how important it all is. So I think just to see that that growth not only in our returning players, knowing the importance of what every game looks like, even from the very beginning, from the first crossover game to the very end, and to see how they're handling and blending and making sure all the new players are blending in is really neat to see. And then hopefully over the course of the year, that just keeps on getting better and better, and you see that development as a team. And of course, you got to get into some playing situations to be able to see how exactly all this is going to play out. But just to see how all these guys have blended together and stuff is really, really neat to see.
And Ryan, for you, what excites you most about this upcoming year?
I mean, I guess like what Coach is saying is, like, we're a really unselfish team. I think it's going to be really fun to play with each other, and then just have a chance to go out there and win the Lone Star Conference. I mean, it's a tough conference, like Coach was saying. I know every day is going to be, every game is going to be a battle. But like I said, like, we are really unselfish, and it's going to be really fun to play with each other out there.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for spending some time with us. We look forward to seeing you guys out on the court this upcoming year. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.